My favorite thing about Lumio is that I can work with the Google files that I love and make them interactive so they can engage students in ways that they couldn't have been engaged before. So here's what that looks like. As you can see, I have this file opened up. It's a Google Slides file and it's opened up within Lumio. So if I go into the edit part of it in Lumio, that's these three little dots up at the top, and click on Edit Lesson. Now I can go through the slide sorter and I can click back and forth to my various slides, and anytime I want, I can add some interactivity to them. So for example, I can click here and say, let's add a shout it out. And that will let me ask a question like, why use Lumio? And I can set it up to have, say, 10 responses each and hide people's names. And now I have a classic shout it out activity brainstorming right after this. Now the next slide is going to be where people can do brainstorming. I can add another slide that's interactive. I can add a game, and we have lots of games templates we'll talk about later. I can add a whole class formative assessment response, and we'll talk about those later as well. And I can add a workspace activity. So that would be, for example, if I have this slide and I'd like people to edit this itself, I can say convert to activity, either here, make it an individual handout or a group handout. I can also duplicate the page if I want to do that. So if I wanted to make a slide where I did a demo and then had the students try it on their own on the next slide, I can do that. So lots of options for interactivity as soon as I open my Google file. Now when I am ready to present, this is what it looks like. So I'll just click up to that shout it out. So start for class, and I ask why use Lumio, and this is where the student can come in, and it says the teacher's not running it yet because it's just loading. There we go. And so the student will say, it adds interactivity. And as soon as the student sends their response, it turns up on the teacher board. And as students had more responses, they can be moved around, sorted into similarities, etc., etc. When the teacher's done, they can just end the activity. Last but not least, teachers can click in here and see their slides from the side like this. And they can annotate on them with a pen or with text anytime they like. Lots of opportunities to make things interactive for your students. This short video has given you a super quick overview of how you can add interactivity into Google Slides. You can do the exact same thing with Google Docs or even with a PDF, and you can even combine files together. So your Lumio file is a compilation of different file types for different purposes. Pretty exciting. Don't feel overwhelmed because we break up all these little pieces into separate videos in the videos later in this compilation.